Ireland's housing crisis didn't just appear overnight, it's the result of decades of government policy. During the Celtic Tiger, the government stopped building large-scale social housing, encouraged private home ownership and deregulated housing markets. This created a housing bubble and made houses unaffordable. When the recession hit, things got worse. The Fine Gael and Labour government responded with austerity. They slashed housing and welfare budgets, they sold public land to private developers, and they let investment in social housing hit record lows. Today, under Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, the state relies heavily on private landlords and investor funds and gives them tax breaks, while evictions skyrocket. According to the Department of Housing, over 70% of people in emergency accommodation are Irish citizens. Let's talk about vulture funds. A vulture fund is an investment company that buys rundown or cheap properties, often from the bank after the crash, and flips them for profit. In 2013, under Fine Gael and Labour, tax loopholes were created that allowed vulture funds to operate tax-free. Then, under Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, they were allowed to buy entire housing estates. This stopped councils from being able to build public housing. By 2020, over 25% of new apartments in Dublin were being bought by vulture funds, not families or individuals. This isn't a broken system, it's a system designed to benefit landlords and investors. The government let this happen because they put the market before the people. We've all heard about mass immigration and how we're being replaced. That's fear-mongering. Here's some facts. Asylum seekers apply at the International Protection Office. They undergo lengthy interviews, checks and legal reviews. They can't work for the first 6 months, they have very little access to education and healthcare, and they're left in isolated direct provision centres and IPAS centres. They get less than €40 a week. You often see people asking, why do they come without papers? Why are most of them men? So first thing, there's no illegal immigration in Ireland. In fact, there's no illegal immigration under Irish and international law. Many refugees arrive without visas or documents because they're fleeing war zones, persecution, torture, gender-based violence, anti-LGBTQ+ laws and human trafficking. It's hard to ask your government for a passport when they're threatening to put you in jail or worse, and it's hard to ask for a visa when your documents were stolen by traffickers. Most asylum seekers are men because they're the first to be targeted for conscription, arrest and execution. Women and children find it hard to travel alone, and families often send one person ahead, usually a young man, to seek safety, and then they apply for family reunification. No one risks everything to come here unless they have no other choice. It's not suspicious, it's survival, and asking for protection is their right. There is no open border policy. Most people don't stay if their claim is rejected. Another thing people say is that asylum seekers and refugees bring more violence to women and children. The data shows that there is no link between immigration and violent crime. Asylum seekers are fleeing violence. They're not bringing it with them. Since 2020, over 40 women have been killed in Ireland. The vast majority of them have been killed by men they knew, partners, ex-partners, family members. The killers were overwhelmingly Irish nationals, and that reflects that domestic violence is deeply rooted in society, not linked to immigration. In 2023 alone, there were over 30,000 domestic abuse disclosures, according to Women's Aid. So who benefits from the fear-mongering? The landlords, the developers, and the government, who failed us all. If we're too busy blaming each other, we stop demanding rent caps, public housing, tenants' rights, and support for survivors. When migrants are blamed for homelessness or crime, we stop asking, why are there 166,000 vacant properties in the country? Why are corporate landlords getting tax breaks while renters face eviction? Why can't a teacher or a nurse afford to rent in Dublin? And why is nothing being done to tackle violence against women? The truth is, it's not immigrants causing the housing crisis. It's Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael enabling investor control of housing. If you care about housing, don't fight your neighbour. Fight the system.